time, everybody, and welcome to the Jersey Shore Podcast. Today, we've got a packed show from breaking news to topics that will keep you informed. So please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the Hammer talked about, then share the Jersey Shore Podcast to others. Damon also looks forward to your comments during this episode. Tonight's Jersey Shore Podcast starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Jersey Shore Podcast. It's S-U-R-E because we are always shore, brought to you by the great America's Pulse Network. And I am your host, Damon Galdo. I have a great guest that's going to come on today after we go through the breaking news and then the monologue. I'll introduce him. He's got a big announcement he's going to make. So before we get started with the monologue, I just want to run a clip for the breaking news. So everyone knows about the shutdown that's going on. It's a ridiculous Democrat shutdown that they still push on Republicans. And I watched an interview with a Republican senator earlier saying that they made the deal and it's the Republican shutdown for DHS. But let's roll the clip.
Mr. President, remember with Daily Wire, not CNN. We just wanted to ask about DHS, still not funded, but we reported earlier today that 80% of the primary task force that focuses on investigating terrorism is working without pay. So should that impact Democrats' decision?
The Democrats aren't paying. The Democrats, we have a deal. They just said we're not going to pay. We're not going to do anything, and it's terrible. The Democrats are terrible. You know, it'd be nice to get along, but for years this has been going on, not just with me. For years it's been going on. Different ideology, but also different tactics. Here we are, we're fighting big battles with a very tough enemy and winning nicely. And we're not allowed to have security in our country. It's crazy. The Democrats don't want to pay. These are bad people. These are not people that love our country, I can tell you that. Very sick people. Thank you very much.
And as President Trump said there, very sick people. I've been calling the Democrat Party for a long time a soulless party. And they are. They don't care about their constituents. They don't care. They care about power. And that is it. I mean, who would hold funding for the Department of Homeland Security when right now we're in war and we have terrorist attacks that are happening? It just, I don't get it. And I wish Democrats watched this show. I really did. Because they maybe didn't get some real news and realize that it's not the Republicans, because the Democrats say it all the time. They're like, oh, it's a Republican shutdown. It's a Republican shutdown. It's not. It's not. But I'm going to do my best to get the news out there about it. I mean, I don't know. They just believe what they believe anyway. It might be useless. I'm not sure. But going into the opening monologue, I'm going to say tonight we're going to be talking about something that people across New Jersey are feeling more and more every year. The feeling that the people making decisions in government are not the ones living with the consequences. All across this state, residents are watching their property taxes climb. They're watching policies come down from Trenton that change their neighborhoods, and many of them feel like they never had a say in any of it. And remember, I said that in the end. So affordable housing mandates are reshaping towns. Local councils are making decisions that affect the character of communities. And residents are asking a simple question: who is actually representing us? Remember, I said that in the end as well. Is it the people who live in these towns, raised their families there, and paid full price for their homes? Or is the political insiders who have been sitting in these positions for years? And that frustration is not just happening at a local level. On March 23rd, protesters are planning to gather in Trenton, led by Paul Kenitra, opposing legislation that critics would say would codify New Jersey as a sanctuary state. And I say this all the time: we pay $7.3 billion a year out of our state taxes towards a sanctuary state for illegal immigrants. So whether you agree with that position or not, the fact that people are organizing protests should just show how frustrated residents have become with decisions being made in Trenton. Again, remember that for the last line in the end of this. Many people feel like policies are being handed down from the top, while people who actually live in the communities are left dealing with the consequences, like I said before. Tonight, we're going to talk about that with the man who has been right in the middle of one of those local fights. His name is Robert Shull, and he is making an announcement. I'm not going to let him do it. And he's been very outspoken about what he believes is happening inside local government, from accusations of nepotism to controversial decisions about affordable housing and how those decisions impact residents. He also founded the Burlington Citizens Alliance and Men of Action Burlington County, grassroots groups pushing more transparency and accountability in local government. So I'm going to just say this. I said to remember what I said in the end. People feel like they didn't have a say in it. They did have a say in it. It was get out to vote. So Republicans need to get out to vote. And they need to push friends, family, coworkers, and talk to them, have the conversation. I know them, the far left don't want to have conversations. I get it. I understand how bad that is. But when people say that they don't feel like they had a chance, and what's going on? Why is my property taxes going up? Why is my energy bill so high? It's because you didn't vote. Republicans come out on average 30%. So I'm calling everyone out right now. If anyone listens to the show, anyone that's a Republican, or if I happen to get a Democrat listening to the show, that'd be great. But anyone that's independent, get out there and vote, and don't complain about it. Just realize who you're electing. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. So with that, I want to bring on our special guest right now, and this is Rob Shull, and I'll let him introduce himself and make your announcement.
Hey, what's going on, Damon? Just first wanted to say thanks a lot for having me on today. I appreciate the opportunity, and been watching you for a while. Been doing some business with you with the Young Republicans in Burlington County as well. I think that this podcast is super important, as you start to grow, as you've been growing for a year. Really important to have a space for Republicans to come out and talk and be honest. And once that message gets through, I think we'll really start to build. But wanted to come on tonight and announce that I am running for mayor of Burlington Township. That's in Burlington County. Appreciate it. Long time coming. We haven't had a Republican mayor in many years. As you kind of got into a little bit there's been a lot of issues that are happening with the town. And I've been here since I was born, minus my service in the military. And about a year after that, made my way back here. It's very important to me. I care deeply about this town, its roots. My family roots actually go all the way back to the founding of West Jersey in the 1670s, I believe it was. So something I care about quite a bit. And, there's, at this point, we have Democrats running unopposed almost every year to get on council. The mayor's a shoo-in. So I'm really going to give it my all. I can promise everyone that. And, we will do the best job we can. And if the Republicans show up and vote, I guarantee you the independents will be on my side. And we'll get a few Democrats as well. And we'll bring this thing home.
Nice. Well, Rob, thank you for coming on. It's a pleasure to interview you tonight. It's awesome that you're stepping. Thank you for your service, number one.
Thanks for your support.
And I know you have some young kids. I heard them on the phone the other day. So for me, I'm doing this because I love my job. I love what I do for a living. But I have two young children, and I see what's going on, and I'm like,
right.
And I'll beat this to death. This quote all the time. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. And
that's right.
Stepping up to do something that's awesome. You've done more to me. You really served. I never have. I'm trying to serve in a different way in Congress.
Well, taking on Norcross is service as well. So appreciate you as well.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. So, but no. So I wanted to ask you a question. So you served in the U.S. Army Honor Guard in Washington D.C. So that's a very elite position. So what was that experience like, and what did it teach you about service and leadership?
Yeah, I mean, I could probably fill the whole show talking about this, really. But more than anything, it taught me really the price that some people pay for their service. It taught me how important the lives that were lost to our nation, and what we've been able to accomplish as the greatest nation to ever exist. It's paid for in blood of patriots. I mean, those families, being out there with them, I did over 1,000 funerals in Arlington National Cemetery. It'll be the most honorable thing that I've ever done. Serving with my brothers there, and being able to really, again, just grasp the gravity of the situation. And then on top of that, coming in, I was a little bit older when I started, so I was 22. That's actually pretty old to join the infantry. I scored pretty high on my ASVAB. For those of you who don't know what an ASVAB is, that's the kind of the test that you.
Yep. Looks like we lost him. I don't know what happened. I'm sure he'll be back on. So, Rob, come back on when you can. But I mean, that's. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. But as I was saying, the ASVAB is the test that you take to get on into the military, and I scored pretty high on that. And luckily enough to be selected out of basic training and given orders to Fort Myer, Virginia. I was in Delta Company, 3rd Battalion, 1st U.S. Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard. And hopefully somebody's listening from there. And shout out to you guys, because I know how hard that job is. And again, did over 1,000 funerals. Did a lot of work at the Pentagon, and that was during Obama, right? So still supported the president at the end of the day. He's the commander in chief. You kind of fall in line there. But when you talk about leadership, and I know that was the end of your question there, it really showed me that in order to be a leader, you don't have to agree with the situation you're in. What you have to do is support the men and women that are serving, underneath of you. And it's really important. I believe in things like leaders eat last. And that's a literal term from when you go to the chow hall and you're an NCO, all of your soldiers eat before you. And the thing about that is, and it's very important, if your soldiers are taking double portions or triple portions, by the time it gets to you as the leader, you're not going to eat. So that's why it's important to instill discipline and the standard in each and every one of them. So that's what I was able to do. I was a fair leader, not taking it easy on everyone. Again, try to treat everyone the same. And at the end of the day, adapt my leadership style to each person. And that's the same thing I'll be able to do as mayor. I understand when I'm talking to one group of people. You got me?
No, I don't know. I don't know what technical difficulties. I guess there went out for a second. I think we're still live.
As mayor, when I'm talking to one group of people, it may be different from when I'm talking to another one. But at the end of the day, every citizen will be treated the same. It doesn't matter if you're a congressman from our town or, somebody that's been unemployed for the last 5 years. Each one of you are equally important, and you will get your fair say, and there will be transparency in the administration. And I will make sure to check up on every single one of the council members, the township employees, and there's going to be a lot of work to do as far as cleanup, but that's work that I'm willing to do because, again, I care a lot about the town. So just to, kind of complete the thought, I think my leadership during my time at Fort Myer, became a sergeant pretty quickly, ran a squad as a sergeant, which is a step up, and was able to just, treat everyone equally. And that's what I'll transfer into my time as the mayor.
That's awesome, man. I don't know if you know our great producer, the other Damon, the man behind the curtain right now. He served in the Army, and one of our podcasters, Seth Eisenberg, he was a Navy man as well. So cool. Talking to them about different things too, I want to ask you, like many veterans, they struggle with transitioning back to civilian life. You've been very open about overcoming challenges after service. Like, what helped push you forward to get involved in your community? Like, was it that was just because of what you learned from there? I mean, I'm sure it is. I mean, it's kind of a dumb question, but
No. Yeah, I mean, transitioning out of the military it's incredible because even though they put you through a course and you think you're prepared, but you go from one day waking up and doing PT and, putting on your duty uniform and going through your day. And at the end of the day, you're there with folks that are in the same situation as you. You've known them for years. Those are my brothers. I mean, when I was in the infantry, it was all male. So all of those guys are my brothers. Even if we didn't get along that well, if I called them right now in the middle of the night, they'd be on the next flight to come get me. So you get picked up from that and dropped into the civilian world the very next day, and there's no kind of buffer. So it really is a shock to the system. And then with the suicide epidemic in the military, unfortunately, like I started losing all, these guys are brothers to me, and you start losing them one after the other. You wish you could have done more. And that's kind of where the want to put men of action in places, because we support veterans, we support young men, we support the elderly, men and women will support. But it's the reason I chose a group of men is because I think it's very important in this day and age to have a tribe of men that support each other. And I think if we can do that throughout the entire county, that's where I think diversity is going to be a strength, because, as you know, Burlington County is super diverse. We have men from all different walks of life and all different shades in Men of Action, and there's no situation that we can't handle. So transitioning out of the military, again, it's kind of really a shock to the system. I struggled with my mental health for a long time. Luckily, I was able to find my faith, and that's, the thing that has helped me the most is my faith in God and following Jesus Christ and trying to be more like him every single day. And at the same time, using that strength I had from the military and knowing how hard it is to, one, even be a man in today's day and age, and then two, not having a group of men to support you. I think that's kind of the reason for Men of Action, and we're continuing to grow each and every day.
I want to ask you about that. You founded the Men of Action in Burlington County. It's kind of grown pretty quickly.
Yeah.
What was the moment you realized the community needed something like that? Because of it how many people are a part of it, and that were in that served with you? I'm just curious. I don't know much about it. You just told me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, so it's just Burlington County, or like folks who work in Burlington County. So not a ton of guys that I served with, but they all support me. But the reason I founded Men of Action, I do some work with Turning Point. So Turning Point Action, I worked with them on the Jack Chitterelli campaign. I kind of lead the Burlington County group, the Facebook group.
Okay.
And someone had shared a post where there was unfortunately this young lady whose father passed away. I think it was due to gang violence. And there was a daddy-daughter dance. She had no one to go with her. And the school put something out, and basically like 60 guys showed up to support her, which I thought was that really moved me. And there was a comment from someone that tagged me and said, like, we should do something like this. And the thing about me is, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it 100%. So from there, contacted a bunch of different people, and someone that's really helped me is Carrie Pritchett, the father of Corey Pritchett, which is one of my friends that I unfortunately lost. He took his own life in 2020, and he started a foundation called Lifted for Life. So he's walked me through, we're still going through the process of getting it officially, into a nonprofit and the right paperwork and all that. But it's taken off pretty quickly. We did just yesterday, we did a job for a Vietnam veteran who just got out of surgery, needed a cabinet put up. I posted it I think it was within 12 hours that was done.
Nice.
The guy, charged him $50, and I paid him back the $50 from donations that I have. So we're just able to kind of move very quickly and do things like that. And before that, during that big snowstorm, had a bunch of different groups of people throughout the county that were shoveling out, our seniors or anyone who's pregnant, and like maybe a single mom who's pregnant or can't get to it themselves. A lot of help with the elderly. So we've been hitting it pretty hard, and it's grown rather quickly. So serving people is something that I need to do to, again, keep my mental, kind of in check. And that's what I want to continue to do, hopefully when I serve as mayor of Burlington Township.
Awesome. Well, this is the question I even thought about asking until after I heard what you said. But to me, I look at it, politics have become very cultural and very, you're left, you're right, you're this or that, and they define you now. Before,
Right.
it did. If you were a Democrat, you wanted to vote for a Democrat, and your buddy was a Republican, wanted to vote for a Republican, it didn't matter. Whoever won, they still pretty much did a good job. If it was, maybe just didn't agree with the policies of that person that was in at the time, but it wasn't so hard hitting. Now the way I see it, it's almost become like a lifestyle. And I look at it now, like typically Republicans do the things that you just talked about. They'll go and they'll help people. They care, and they'll go, they'll shovel sidewalks. They'll put cabinets up for veterans, and things like that, and pay them back the $50. But I just don't see that with the Democrat Party. I'm not saying all Democrats are bad. They're not. I used to be a Democrat. They're not all bad. It just looks like they lean that way a lot more than they do Republicans. And it's just weird how politics became like part of who you are now. It never used to be that way.
Yeah. Everything, what I always say is nowadays, everything is an absolute. And since I did like a announcement just on Facebook, 2 days, Sunday, I guess, or Saturday night. I got a ton of support, and I want to thank everybody who came right out and supported me. But I'll be honest, like I was almost afraid to put the word Republican in anything that I was posting, because immediately, like, this town is, mostly Democrat, and it's like, am I a bad guy, or like what? I don't understand why the only thing everyone wants to know is, do you support Trump? Do you support Trump? Do you support Trump? And it's like, one, this is local government. It has nothing to do with the federal government. I'm not making decisions on the war in Iran here, or, ICE or anything like that. So you're exactly right, though. One thing that I will say is there's a lot of Democrats, especially the more outspoken ones that are, kind of on the extreme side, that they preach this inclusivity and, acceptance of all. But as soon as you say that you voted for Trump in 2024, it's like you get lost. So that really doesn't make sense to me. I never understood that. But at the end of the day, like the Burlington Citizens Alliance that I started, that's Democrat and Republican.
That was the next question I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
What issues residents are facing that made you start the grassroots movement with the Burlington Citizens Alliance? So just a quick comment about that, because we got to go to a break pretty soon. So
cool. Yeah. So Burlington Citizens Alliance, I started to gain a lot of knowledge about affordable housing as I campaigned with Jason Cullen for Congress and CD3.
He's the man, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Vote for him in the primary.
I just sent him the link. He should be watching. And now I'm sorry to cut you off. Anybody, I see Slick Nix and Stop Voting Democrats. Jason, if you're watching, anybody who wants to put a comment in the chat box, we'll be able to see it, and my producer will put it up. So just, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. lots of issues with I'll say affordable housing, and I have no issue with anyone having affordable housing. That's not the problem here. I just want to put that out right away because that's super important. Went to a meeting with the Pinelands Republican Club, which they're super awesome as well. I have a relationship with Mike Sizik, who's the mayor of Medford, and Kim Pollock was there. Kim gave about a 2.5 hour meeting on affordable housing and the dangers of it, what it's causing, how to get your number down for each individual town without
We're going to get into
putting
that.
up.
We're going to get into that part in the next segment, just so you know, because I got some
Okay.
questions about that.
But so that's why I started the Citizens Alliance, to bring people together, one, and start to maybe, get rid of that division, because when I grew up here, it was beautiful. People from all walks of life, we all got along. We all know, I didn't know what anyone's politics were. Maybe I wasn't paying attention because I was younger, but I didn't know what my parents' politics were either until probably, the 2008 election.
Yeah.
So, and by that time I had already moved out. So just kind of, as you said, it wasn't as polarized. It wasn't as, if you support Trump, then you're a fascist and a Nazi. And you start saying that stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah.
People start to get used to it. And what do you do with a Nazi?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, Frank, everybody, I was Frank. I was thinking someone just texted Frank. Rob, thank you. We're going to take a break right now. Everyone stay tuned. Listen to what Rob has to say on the next segment. So we're going to take a real quick break and come back. And don't forget to, go in the chat box if you want to say anything and ask a question or make a statement. So, all right, take a break.
Cool.
Hey, it's great to be on with you. This is a great podcast. It's a lot of fun and it's informative and it's real information. It's none of the frills and none of the nonsense that you hear on the legacy media, just telling the story of what's happening right now. It's what I do with my newsletter that I get out to anybody who wants to see it. It's what you're doing with this podcast. America needs to know what the real deal is, and you're the real deal.
See, that's my favorite congressman there, Congressman Van Drew. He was nice enough to give me a 32-minute interview. He's all over the place. I mean, that guy, he works his butt off. He's everywhere. So he's a great congressman. So this segment here, everyone, welcome back. We're talking about affordable housing mandates. So you were talking about that, about the affordable housing, and you mind it. Affordable housing is not a bad thing. I mean, I believe it is and it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
When people need it for certain reasons, I think it's abused. And I think the Democrats push it through big time for votes. They want to they want to push it through. And even Joe Biden said, "Oh, your neighborhoods are going to change." Well, maybe I don't want my neighborhood to change.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, we have a right to live where we want to live and how we want to live. But as far as affordable housing goes, it is a very complicated and intricate subject.
Yes.
At the end of the day, though, if your town in 2025 got its number and it was, say, it's 100 homes, right? That's 100 units of affordable housing. So that includes apartments, all kinds of different stuff you can do to kind of play the game and get that number down. If your township or your city that you live in New Jersey is just putting up brand new housing, I guarantee you someone is getting paid off of that. Someone on that council, someone in charge, they are getting a kickback because the affordable housing is supposed to create a situation where we are rehabbing our old buildings. We're taking advantage of the 0% loans that come along with it for residents that already live there. It's easy for a township to use township money if they have a surplus and buy certain land that they don't want to be used for affordable housing. It's easy to actually put in just a little pocket park on a piece of land. If a developer says, hey, I want to buy this land, you put a pocket park in there, can't be used. There's many things that you can do to get your number down. And if your town is not doing that, that's a huge red flag. And I'm actually going to put out, I have a PowerPoint presentation that I made that has some red flags for affordable housing. So you can take it. It comes with a checklist. Take it to your local planning board meeting when they give the plans for the affordable housing neighborhood that they're going to build. And you'll be able to just follow it down the row. If something comes up that's a red flag, that's when you know to put in the Oprah request and start to dig.
Yeah, what I understand with affordable housing, the contractors, the developers, they get paid full price to build it.
Yeah.
But the people that buy the houses don't have to pay that price what it costs. It's made up. It gets compensated with the taxpayer dollars.
Right, and not only that, Damon. These guys are coming in and developing these neighborhoods, and it's not 100% affordable housing. I think the minimum is 20%. So what does that mean? For every 5 houses, 4 of them are at full value. So they just put in a huge neighborhood called J Centra. It's behind, if anyone knows Burlington, it's behind where the Burlington Center Mall used to be. Huge, big neighborhood back there. It just popped up out of nowhere. I didn't even know it was being built. And they have 3-bedroom condos, $4,500 a month that they're raking in. And on top of that, they're part of the pilot program, which means it's a tax abatement for 20, 30 years. So for the next 30 years, because of the way our S2 funding works, nobody is paying property taxes that lives, or whoever's collecting the rent there, they're not contributing to the schools. There's no money going to our schools, and they're putting in, say there's 150 units, that's like 2.1 kids per unit. So, you're looking at 300 more kids in school. It really starts to make your blood boil when you can really look into it and you start to understand what's happening.
Trust me, I've done graphs and put stuff together on the podcast. I don't know if you saw those ones.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I understand people need help and need help, but help should be temporary unless you're permanently disabled or something like that.
Sure.
But how's it fair to anyone? Like, I go to work every day. That's why I have that song in the end you'll hear, built by working hands. I got beat up. I got 208 discs in my back, and I raised my kids. I struggle.
Right.
I look across the street, and I'm like, well, why do they get the same exact house that I have for less than a quarter of the price?
Yeah.
I don't hate on anybody, but it's just like, come on, the government can't just come and show up at my door and stick their hand in my pocket and say, I'm taking your money, I'm giving it to this person. And it goes back to the monologue in the beginning. Everyone could say, oh, they didn't make these decisions. No, you did, because you didn't vote. So you got to get out there and change it.
Yeah, and we gotta clear up these voter rolls. And I'm not gonna say too much. Damon. But I have a strong feeling that we're gonna get some reporting on the voter rolls here in the next month or so.
I think we are too. And if the SAVE Act goes through, I mean that'll be huge.
Beautiful, yeah.
Voter ID. I mean it's easiest, simplest thing. It's 85% of Americans want it. So I don't understand how the elected officials, people that even elected them, want it, and they're still pushing it back. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, pretty obvious.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, but like you've been outspoken about the you call it nepotism in Berkeley Township about the affordable housing. So, tell listeners about that. What was going on there?
Well, I'm just going to come right out and say it here. There is a gentleman that's been on the council for as long as I've been alive, which is about 36 years. I think maybe a little bit less than that, but
we say term limits, maybe.
Right, term limits. Yeah. Love this quote. I love this quote. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that is 100% true. I believe that this man was a good man. He came in and probably wanted to do some good for the township, if you stick around for 30 some years on the township council, you're the president, you are going to run into situations where it's going to be advantageous for you. You're going to start to take advantage of those things, and it's going to become corruption. It's going to start getting into illegal things. And, we're human beings. We're all evil. If you're a Christian, you know that each and every one of us falls short of the glory of God. We're all made in his image. However, we fall short of the teachings of Jesus Christ. Each and every one of us. Evil is going to get in, and you have to do your best to put yourself in situations where it's easy to get away from it or walk away from a situation, even if you're gaining popularity and you're gaining monetarily, and you're happy and your family's happy. Deep inside, if there's some evil going on, you have to get rid of it, right? So I believe that that's what's happening here. There was a situation where, some way or another, one of his children got on the police force, which, okay, I'm fine with that. That, maybe she wanted to be a cop. That's great. Well, it turns out they use one of the affordable housing slots in a neighborhood that has no other affordable housing. And she winds up paying half the price for, like you said, you're paying, $400,000 for the house. She gets it for 120 or 200. So that's just one case there. We have situations where certain members of the local government get their children who may or may not have felonies on the police force. You have cousins and nephews that are in certain positions within the town that don't have the appropriate certifications, and it just continues on from there. So that's all stuff that I'm going to bring to the surface here as my campaign goes along. Not going to let everything out right now, but the citizens are the ones who are telling me this. This isn't even me really digging too much into it. This is coming from just the people that are signing my petition, Damon. So these are lifelong residents. They deserve better than this, and I will be the one to give them better.
It's awesome, man. I love the fighting. I love what you're saying. Everything you're saying is awesome. It's great. And I like people stepping up like you. I mean, like I said, you stepped up a little more to me. You actually served. I did not, but I'm trying to serve in a different way, and that's why I created this podcast. And
right.
My producer and I and others co-founders created the network. It's to get people's voices out there, because we need people to hear the regular truth. Because mainstream media, I'm not even going to get into it, because I'm going to rant all day.
Yeah.
Media. But just hearing regular people doing this, and I hate career politicians. That's why I mentioned terrorism.
Right. I mean, there's
absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. That's
amen.
The longer you're in, the more you're on. Term limits should be there. I even told my wife, I said, if I get elected, I said, you need to check me. I said, because if I get elected and then people will be coming at me from every which way, I said, do not let me fool myself, because it's easy for
100%
the devil to get inside. So, so that's, I have my back checks. I have my wife, some friends. And I told them, I said, I don't care if you have to slap me. I said, but
I saw your wife commented on, somebody put something on one of your posts, and she went right at him, and I was like, man, that's awesome. That's the type of relationship that you want. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't mess with her. I say to people all the time, I said, I would never ever cheat on my wife, and only 50% is out of love. The other 50% is out of fear.
Oh man, that's great.
I love her to death. But all right, well, listen, we're going to take another quick break, and then we'll come back.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up. Because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. But America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. The New Jersey State House Watch, hosted by Jack Brangen and Constance Detzel. APN's The Pulse is moderated by either Alexandra, Damon, Elena, or Seth. Also tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Join the revolution because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Hammer segment number 3. And Rob, I don't know if you know what Hammer segment means. You say you watch the podcast. That's all the Seth thing. I always keep this golden hammer next to me.
Yep.
It's a long-standing joke with Seth. He's a man. He's funny as hell. But yeah, that's why we named it Hammer segment. So, but this is a statewide political fight. That's why we named this. And you mentioned John. Did I say his last name? Tamiki?
Yeah, Tamiki.
And the League of American Families. For people hearing the name for the first time, like, who is he and what role does he play in these issues?
Absolutely. So, John Tamiki has been a leading voice in the conservative movement for the last 40 or 50 years. At this time, he's 91 years old. The last thing he really got involved with, like 100%, was in 2020. You'll probably remember we had to fight to keep the religious exemption for vaccines in New Jersey. And he was actually behind kind of all of the litigation that went into that. So John has connections with everyone. I'm sure any of the politicians that are listening in New Jersey, when I talked to Paul Kenitra, who, shout out to Paul Kenitra as well, like took my Instagram message and had me call him, and he gave me a lot of great advice. But when I asked him about John, he said, yeah, he's a good friend. I met him through Nikki Stouffer from New Jersey Project, and yeah, absolutely. She gave me a chance to write for the Chaos and Control Substack, and I talk to John every single day. So a lot of the stuff that you hear from me came from him, and he puts me on game about politics and religion and, just really even just being a better man. So he not only has played a role for the last 40 to 50 years, but he's giving me a brain dump of all the information that he has on politics, on, different senators and assemblymen, and even on a national level, and New Jersey right to life. And, it's an incredible opportunity, and I'm really thankful to have him, by my side. And, I've gone through some difficult situations here in the last month or so, and it's funny because I find myself, I pick up the phone and he's like the first one I want to call. So, he's been a really, really solid guy, and he's actually going to hopefully be at the Young Republicans meeting the first Thursday of this month coming up. And that's going to be at 7 p.m. on Stokes Road in Medford. I'll post it on my social media. So anybody, even if you're over 40, and I'm almost over 40, 18 to 40 is the Young Republicans in Burlington County. We are accepting new members. We've got Jonathan Duff, who just put together legislation that got adopted, and hopefully will be adopted in Monroe to stop the data center from going in there. So that's a really, really hot topic.
I heard him reading that at the last Camden County Committee meeting too, as well.
Yeah.
John, I sent you a link, by the way. You can comment if you want, John. So
Yeah, I mean, he, incredibly smart guy. Put that together, and I know he worked really hard on it, and he's got a pretty viral video going on of him really, really giving it to the town council there. So that's really awesome. But yeah, young Republicans are doing a lot of great stuff. But back to John Temicki, he's been key in all of the big conservative wins in the last 40 years or so, and there isn't much he hasn't done, and I'm sure there's much more for me to learn, and I look forward to it.
No, it's awesome. And I mentioned Paul Canitra. Paul Canitra, he was just on the show, New Jersey State Watch. I hope I'm saying it right because they just joined our network. It's my buddy and Ditzel, and they're awesome. And they just joined their first show with Paul Canitra on. And there's going to be a protest plan. That's planned for March 23rd in Trenton, led by Canitra, over legislation critics say would codify New Jersey as a sanctuary state. And I mentioned it before. We pay $7.3 billion out of our own taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, isn't that funny, Damon? They said we got a $3 billion structural deficit. If we're paying $7 billion for something that we don't have to pay $7 billion for, then that seems to me, if my math is correct, that we have a $4 billion surplus. We just have, some people who aren't so smart in the office.
Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable. It really is. I say it every show because I can't stop saying it because it's a fact. I went to Donald Norcross's town hall, and I brought it up there. And when I said it, it was Senator Spearman. He's the one that answered it first, and then went to Norcross afterwards. And he said, "I don't know where you get your facts from. You got to really. I'll be really careful by saying that because if we had spent $7.3 billion, I would definitely. Because I said, if we didn't pay that, I said my property taxes are going up to $2,000 in June a year. And they said, but if we didn't pay that, there's 36 million homes in the state of New Jersey, and you could lower everyone's property taxes by $2,000. Every single homeowner in the state of New Jersey." And he said, "Oh, I would do that in a second if that was the truth." I'm like, "Well, it is." I said, "Look it up." And then I didn't even know Paul Canitra said, I've been talking about this for like 8 months, and I had no idea that Paul, that Spearman was in a hearing with him like the week prior when he brought it up.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that at the time, or else I would have said it at the town hall. I'm like, you were at the hearing with Canitra. But either way, they're full of it. They really are. And they don't care. They want votes. That's it. They don't care about anything, votes and power. They don't care about the people they represent. Again, I'll go back to it. They are a soulless party, the Democrats. They really are.
Yeah.
Not every Republican's great. There's bad apples out there too. But
sure,
the Democrat Party, for the most part, they're just soulless. Other than John Fetterman, I would say at this point.
Yeah, they have no moral compass because they don't. There's no God. How do you? Their religion is that the LGBTQIA plus movement. It starts to become. It has to be something, right? You have to get your morality from somewhere, and that's where it comes from, and it just doesn't work. This nation was founded on Christian values. I told you that my ancestors founded West Jersey. That was in the 1600s. They were Quakers. I mean, they wrote some of the first governmental documents. I forget the exact name of it, but it just like the Constitution, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, basically, and private property. So, and those are God-given rights, and that's what we're founded on. That's what we're about. I don't understand what the problem is to believe in that. I don't get it.
I don't either. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm lost for words for it. I really don't. I can't put my finger on it. But why they have to fall so far from believing in God, and I don't care if you believe in God or not. But don't have to push everything else on.
Yeah. No. I mean, everyone has a right to religious freedom, and but even if you don't believe in God, I think you can agree that the Bible says some really good
live
things.
By the values. By the values of it. I mean, that's
right. Exactly.
Society. A flourishing society. You live by those type of values, mean, that's what it
Yeah.
was basically based on. I mean, there was times in the past where I struggled with my faith, and like, was God really real or not? But
Yeah.
I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? Well, if I just live the way this book reads, I think everything will be pretty good.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's where I see it. So, but so yeah. So, are you planning on attending the protest from 23rd? And it's at 11 o'clock in Trenton, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it got rescheduled. I am expecting a child here any minute. So not literally any minute, but yeah, we're having a baby. Thank you.
Right. Awesome.
So as long as it doesn't, if it goes that long, my wife will be very upset because the due date is the 18th. So yeah, I don't think it'll go that long, but definitely plan on being there to support Paul. And I know, Alexandra Bauer is going to be there. She's done a heck of a lot for me as well. Yeah. Heather Torno from Turning Point, New Jersey. She's done a ton of stuff. She actually put me in a room to give a speech at a Jack event at a fundraiser. I mean, I was like 3 weeks into doing anything political. So, that's how I met Congressman Van Drews, the guy who runs his campaign, and
Ron.
started building contacts from there. And so I will definitely be there to support. I think it's very, very important that this is the one. As conservatives, as Republicans, we may not get up and go out and do as much as the Democrats do, but if there's going to be one to be at, this is the one. Yeah,
I mean, I honestly, I don't think it's going to do anything because we don't have control because we needed 13 assembly seats and we lost 6, so now we're like down 19. So it's going to go through, but everyone needs to realize this. That's the whole point. People need to get the message out. This is what you voted for, and you're going to. I don't want to hear you complain about all these things. No, get out and vote. People get out there and vote for you, Rob. Tell your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers. Listen, it matters. Only 30% comes out. Like in the midterms, it's roughly 30% every time in the midterms. 30%.
Right.
And I mean, it's
and believe me, we're knocking on the doors. I mean, I know Cliff Maloney as well. I know he does the PA chase, but he came over and did the NJ chase. And we're out there knocking on doors, man. Like, people are aware of the election. It's just, and when the election comes up, Men of Action, we are going to be ready. We're all going to vote early, and we're going to say, if you need a ride to the polls, we will take you. I promise that right now. If you need a ride to the polls, you get a hold of me on social media. I will get you there, no matter what it takes. If you need to get a VBM, a voter by mail, whatever it takes, whatever help that you need, we're all here to support you. We just need to get out there and vote, guys. We have to do it. It is your duty. It is not a right. It is an obligation to this nation for it to be successful for each and every one of us to vote.
And I pledge the same thing that you just said. And I'm sure my producer, the man behind the curtain, will pledge the same thing as well, because he is a true patriot. And the rest of our podcasters live outside the state, so they're not going to
cool.
They're not drive too far. But before we get into the end of this, I'm going to just tell you a quick story. I was trying to get someone to sign my petition, and there was not the big story that happened before, but it was just a regular guy at a gas station, and he didn't want to sign it, and he was a Republican. And I said, well, why wouldn't you want to sign it? And he said, there's no reason to. And I said, well, it's just to get me on the ballot. It's not a vote. He's like, not that I wouldn't vote for you. He said, there's no reason to sign it. He said, it's a waste. He said, this is Norcross country. He said, there's no way anyone's going to beat Norcross, which I get why people may think that, but if you don't try, it's never going to happen. I mean, it's even hard to get donations to my campaign because they look at it as unwinnable. Now, it's only unwinnable because nobody supports it and has
Right.
a mindset like that guy. Wouldn't even sign a petition to get me on the ballot. No, I'll be on the ballot, no problem. But I'm like, well, but you want to just sign it? He's like, it's not even worth it. I'm like, are you going to vote? He's like, yeah, I'll probably vote.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know. So
I mean, we cannot have that attitude as even just on either side. Like, we have to believe in this process, and that's why we have to pass the SAVE Act. But that attitude. If you have that attitude and you're hearing this right now, you need to look yourself in the mirror and do some soul searching, and maybe you get involved. You know, it's not going to be the guy that lives next door to you. It's up to you. That's what I tell anybody that I run into about politics and why I got involved, because that's what I realized.
well, this logo I created, I will see on the screen on the top there, Unite the Party. I created that yesterday.
Cool. Yeah, that looks a little bit like kind of the same as my Citizens Alliance one.
Oh,
Like
really?
it. Yeah. Not like at all the same, but like the handshake and stuff. That's cool.
Oh, so hopefully I didn't any copyright.
No. No, it looks cool. I love that.
So, but yeah, that's what when I thought about it, I'm like, unite the party. I mean,
Yeah.
come together. Even a lot of Republicans are divided around here, and I go by Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment. You know, you don't attack your own party. So we need to come together and just believe that you can make a difference, because you can. When people say my vote doesn't count, well, guess what? It doesn't count if you don't vote.
Right. That's the only way to guarantee it doesn't count is not come out.
So, well, I'm going to just tell people where they can find you, because after this, I want to go on and talk about Pennies in Action, which is a pretty awesome fundraising thing for cancer, and then we'll go into we're going to go into the song that my producer and I created for these canines. That
Cool.
Basically, it's the police dogs and the handlers, the officers themselves. They have to pay for them, you know, because they take them home or whatever. But even the vet bills. So if they if the line of duty get hurt, they're responsible for the vet bills, which was weird to me. I didn't know that. But they do a fundraiser every year, and they have some country music singers that are coming up and doing it. I just stumbled upon it, so we made a little video for them and a little song. So that'll go on after Pennies in Action. Then we'll just end it with my song, my Galdo song. I'll have to make you one. So
yeah, I love it.
Tell people where they can find you.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it, Damon. On Facebook, it's Robert Shull. On Instagram, Rob Shull 1776, Rob Shull 1776. Same thing on X and TikTok, Rob Shull 1776, and Substack as well, Rob Shull 1776. I think that's it.
I like the 1776, man. That's nice. So.
Shout out to Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace. And if you wanna get a hold of me, just email me. This is a super simple email. If you know my nonprofit name, so it's Rob menofaction@gmail.com.
All right, Rob. Listen, thank you very much for coming on. You're a great guest. You're a great guy. I really hope you get elected. I'll do my best to have you on again and again and again. You know, you're welcome anytime. And so, yeah, good show, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Damon. I appreciate the opportunity. And I think, again, having this podcast network is super important to this movement. And we all appreciate you. Everyone that I've talked to about you has nothing but good things to say. So keep it up, man. Keep the fight going. And we're slowly but surely going to turn New Jersey red.
Hey, that's why we created this network. It's for, well, hey, listen, if a Democrat wants to come on and have a debate.
Sure.
It's to get the message out there. That's why we all came together and created it, because we tell the truth. You know?
Absolutely.
That's basically what it is.
Yep.
Everybody. But man, you're awesome guests. I really appreciate it. You can stay tuned for all of it, and then we'll come on afterwards when we go off there, and we can talk later. But I want to go into the Pennies in Action. This is an important one to me, Rob.
Cool.
This one actually saved my sister's life so far, anyway.
God bless.
She has stage 4 breast cancer, diagnosed with that, with terminal. And I happened to walk into one of these events because my great friend Steve DiOrio, he invited me to it, and I listened to this Dr. Zanicki give this speech about how this new immunotherapy. So it's a dendritic cell immunotherapy. So basically, they take your own immune system and they blast it back into you like a nuclear bomb. And it's been working. I mean, stage 4 breast cancer was not curable, and it's being cured through this. And I got my sister into a trial. It was a great story. I took a video and I sent it to her, and she happened to be standing outside the Moffitt Cancer Center in Florida because she was looking at a college for her daughter. When I sent her the video at the time, I had no idea she was in Florida. And she watched the video. She looks up. She's right in front of it, and she.
People say God isn't real. That's crazy.
I know, man. It was amazing. And then I took her to the next fundraiser, introduced her to the doctor. We fundraised for her and her friends, her great friends. They helped out too. Raised $25,000 for her to fly back and forth to Florida for 20 weeks.
Love it
for this. So
that's amazing.
Up April 18th. This one is in PA. It's Malvern, so it's far. It's about an hour from New Jersey.
Yeah.
But we have one in Vineland every year as well. So, but I just want to put it out there because this is a great thing. Pennies in Action. If you guys can donate, anybody listening out there can donate to it. I know I'm asking for donations in my campaign, and Rob probably is too.
Absolutely.
I'll lose a donation in my campaign for Pennies in
Same
Action.
here. I'll pledge donation from Men of Action.
So awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
So then we're going to go into the candidates that are running, the ones that I've been talking to. Some I haven't, but we're just going to run through it real quick. I do it every show because it's important to put everyone out there. We had a Zoom call with all the candidates, not all of them, but the majority, and we decided to work together and put each other's names out there. So let's roll it. It's Justin Murphy running for U.S. Senate 2026. Justin Murphy's a great guy. Everyone that watched all the other shows, he's been on a lot of the shows, so you guys already know. But Justin Murphy, pay attention to him. It's the next one. Now this is the most important one right here. Who's that guy? Damon Galdo for Congress. All right. So yep. So pay attention to that guy because he needs a lot of help. He's going up against the juggernaut in Norcross. And then this guy, my man Van Drew, awesome guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's out there. Everyone knows Van Drew. I'm sure he's going to do okay, but he's not going to win all the time, even though he has the upper hand. But he fights like he's not going to win. That's what I like about him. He keeps going.
Yep.
So, next one.
There he is.
That's the man, Jason Cohen. I've been running into him. Just found him on Facebook, and I saw some of his videos. I reached out to him, got him on the podcast, and become great friends. He's a great guy. He's a fighter.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So, Jay, I hope you're watching. I'm sure you're watching. If not now, you'll probably watch it later. So let's go to the next one. All right, that's Chris Smith. So, Chris Smith, like I said, I haven't had a chance to talk to him. I reached out to him, but I know he's a busy guy. So, he's District 4. So,
yep.
Look for Chris Smith. Next one. She's great. She's tough. I had conversations with her, and she is straight to the point. She has a tough district as well.
Yeah.
But she's definitely a fighter. I wouldn't want to run against her. I'll just
nope.
She's awesome. So all right, next one. Again, we have Tom Keene. Everyone knows about Tom Keene. So I think he's going to be good to get reelected. I'm pretty sure. I don't
gotta get out there and vote it either way.
Yeah, either way. But yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'm just saying he's very active. Same as Van Drew. He's still acting like he's going to lose because that's what every politician that's running or any candidate that's running, has to expect that they're going to lose in a fight like that. So the next one, I believe this is Hillary. Tiffany. Tiffany Burris. Tiffany Burris. She's running in 9. And she's awesome as well. We had a Zoom call with her. She's great. And I hope she's doing good. I haven't talked to her about like 3 weeks or so, but I got to get her on the podcast. So she hasn't been on yet. So let's go to the next one. Carmen Bucco.
Yeah.
I spoke to him, but it was briefly. But I think he's the best candidate. So everyone look out for Carmen Bucco. Get out to vote for him. And then we'll go to Joe Hathaway. Yeah.
Yep.
So he's in the
Replacing
Mikey Sherrill, our
Rebecca.
our wonderful governor. Yeah, Rebecca is actually her name. Yeah. So our wonderful governor. Oh God. And then we have Greg Millay. Greg Millay, he's a great guy. He's running 12. I mean, Greg's a really good team. I've known him for a couple of years. So, but all right. So listen, I'm gonna say goodbye and sign off to everybody. We're gonna play that one song for the K9 thing. It's a little long, but and then
can I say one more thing?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Everybody contact Andy Kim, our senator in New Jersey, and tell him he needs to pass the bill called the Icelet Act, S3105. There's a woman that I went to high school with, Angela. Her son has type 1 diabetes. There is a bill. All it does is takes the cells inside your pancreas. It's currently classified as a drug and changes it to classifying it as a donor. That's all it's going to take. And in trials, it's curing people at a very rapid rate. He hasn't answered our calls. He hasn't answered our emails. Nobody's gotten back to us. I think she's even a Democrat, but it doesn't matter. I want this little boy to be able to live a healthy and full life. And again, that's S3105, the Icelet Act. Thank you.
All right. Well, you heard it there. Thank you very much. We'll sign off now, and I'll talk to you afterward.
Cool.
After the show. So, thank you. All right.
Thanks, Damon.
Have a good night.
Cut through the Jersey night. Another call, another fight. Partner riding by his side. Poor Paul steady, full of pride. He does not quit, he does not slow. Runs straight where the danger goes. But when the bills come crashing in, the handler pays again. Yeah, the badge is heavy, the job is tough, but these brave dogs deserve enough. Boots on the ground, paws in the fight. K9 heroes working all night. They wear the shield, they hold the line. They give their all every time. If they are officers when danger calls, they should be covered through it all. So we raise our voice and raise this jam for the dogs who always take the stand. Word got out across the land. Country Hearts started a band. Adam Wardrop brought the flame. Bubba Beer backed the name. And Colby Lee Swift with strings that cry, singing for the dogs who never ask why. Just good men trying to make it right. Standing up in the spotlight. Yeah, small town hearts and a country sound. Standing up and laying it down. On the ground, paws in the fight. K9 heroes working all night. They wear the shield, they hold the line. They give their all every time. If they are officers when danger calls, they should be covered through it all. So we raise our voice and raise this jam for the dogs who always take the stand. Stage. Crowd gets loud, the good hearts raise. These dogs do not choose the line, still they cross it every time. Till the budget makes it right, we will sing into the night. Boots boots on the ground, pause in the fight. America, hear us loud tonight. Fund the heroes who cannot speak. Stand by the brave who guard our streets until the day the system stands tall. We will not stop, we will not stall. Country strong and back in the blue. K9 heroes, this song is for you. For every handler standing tall, and every dog who gives his all. Yeah, this one's for New Jersey, for every working family that's had enough. Name's Damon, Galdo, and I'm just getting started. Job site dust to the streets of the shore. Steel-toed boots, yeah, I know what I'm working for. Middle class hurting, every bill going up, while suits in DC say, man, just trust us. I'm a builder by trade, put my sweat in the ground. Now I'm building up hope for my hometown. Jersey's my home, blue-collar soul. I don't make excuses, I get it done, that's all I know. I felt the pressure, I've lived that grind, trying to give your kids a better life. I won't forget where I came from, man, cause I'm built by work. I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. Not a career man who forgot what hard work means. They talk real big, but nothing ever changes, while Jersey keeps drowning in the same old pain. I'll build a future strong for our kids in this land. I'm Damon Galdo, built by working hands. Yeah. Donald Norcross been there year after year. Same old story while the struggle's still here. Claims he's for workers, but look around town. Rent sky high, grocery bills breaking us down. Where's the relief for the middle class grind? Cause all I see is folks falling behind. I ain't got decades in some DC chair, I got skin in the game, cause my family's here. Time, they had their shot, and tell me, Jersey, what have we got? It's time for change, time for a stand, time for a work, and not another plan, not another plan, not another plan. Yeah! I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. Not some suit who sold you fantasy. We waited long enough, it's time to demand a future built by honest hands for Jersey strong, for this great land. I'm Damon Galdo, built by working hands. Yeah, this ain't left, this ain't right. This is fight for what's right. For every mom working double shifts, every dad praying they don't miss. I'm running for my kids, running for yours, for a state that deserves so much more. Not talk, that's the plan. Let's build it back with a working man. For our children's dreams, for a better way. I'll fight for Jersey every day. No empty words, I'll take the stand, cause I'm built by work. Yeah, I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. While the old guard keeps playing the same old game. But we're done with waiting, done with excuses. It's time for a man who knows how to do this. I'm building a future strong for our kids in this land. I'm Damon Galdo, built by working hands. New Jersey 1st District. If you're tired of the talk and ready for work, walk with me. Galdo, Galdo. Galdo, Galdo. Galdo, Galdo. Make the crowd chant with no music.
The Hammer thanks you for watching tonight's Jersey Shore podcast. see you at the next packed show, from breaking news to topics that will keep you informed. So please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the Hammer talked about, then share the Jersey Shore podcast to others. Damon also looks forward to seeing you on the next episode.